saying Colorado sucks.
What? Okay, let's let him say it one more time because maybe he meant something else.
Play, meaning that instead of losing on an average margin of 34 points, okay, you may lose, but you lose by 21. You lose by 14. You know what that is? That's realistic expectation.
Progress.
And I think progress and improvement, right? And listen, I understand Deion Sanders. His job is to instill confidence and belief in his football team. I love that. I'm great with that. But I feel like all of this hype is being set up for failure in year one.
Hey, it's Victoria, and you are now listening to the Pass Rush Podcast with your host, Dejayy Clennon.
It's your boy Dejayy Clennon, the host of the Pass Rush Podcast, and let's get into it. What I see is it looks like analysts are foaming at the mouth to want to see the downfall of Colorado. All because the team is loud, they don't care what you think, it was done untraditional, and it's change. Anytime there's change inside of a organization or shaking the standard that is normal, you're going to get some pushback. But the cool thing here is that finally the pushback was met with winning force. So Deion last week, they wanted to say, oh, beating TCU was a fluke. When they played the team that, although they might not have been deserving of playing in the championship game against Georgia, they had the starting quarterback that was the starter last year before he got injured, and then Max took over and became quarterback of the year, top 5 corner, and other notable players on TCU's team. Now, what makes it so interesting is not only did they win this week, which we'll get to, but anybody who's ever been on a football team, what you know is that when you have a new coach, new leadership, new anything, the two sides of the ball come together at a different pace, right? If you have your defensive side, that comes together a lot easier and quicker because defensive players, you just have to get to your spot, you know where you have to go, and you look for maybe receivers crossing or you're rushing the passer or somewhere in between. Versus on offense, it's a lot of moving parts. You have to know where you need to be, you have to know the play call, and you might get play calls mixed up. So usually offense comes together a lot slower, as we saw with Nebraska, where they're going through the same type of change as Deion Sanders' Colorado team. And you can see with their quarterback who had a lot of turnovers. He's had more turnovers than quarters. That's what makes Deion Sanders' team so unique. The offense has come together with over 80 points this season and is brand new. I don't see any credit for that. I don't see anybody giving any credit for that. That's unprecedented right there. So I'm not seeing where all the hate is coming from.
I know they play Nebraska this weekend, and we know that maybe our little pal will be there.
How are you Deion'd out when he backs it up, though?
Paul, you and I do a little kumbaya Saturday about 11 o'clock in the morning. Go Matt Rule and go Cornhuskers.
When you have somebody who do something that's different, that's unique, that's open, that's loud, that's beautiful, and it's original, you should welcome those things because there's a lot of copycats. It's a copycat league. But instead of being copycats, Colorado decided to lead the way. So we're going to break it down. Let's start with the offense again. They have one turnover this entire season so far. Between 2 games and over 80 points, as we mentioned before. You know, when a new coach takes over a team and wins his first 2 games against notable opponents, you know where that happens? I'll put it on screen for you. That's where it happens. But instead of this being Madden or NCAA on a video game, this is real life where we're seeing in real life somebody's doing something substantial. And it's a lot of swag to it. And the mantra here is they're silencing the hate along with it. It's okay to root for Nebraska, like this guy, Mr. Greg here.
I think Nebraska can do it. I expect them to play good, clean football. I think they'll run the football. I think their defense will put enough pressure on Shedeur to force a mistake or two, and the cover ability will likely be better in the back end than what we saw from TCU.
Who's hiring these yahoos?
So, for some reason, Mr. Greg here, the analyst, thinks that Nebraska was going to win the game. Looking at the matchup here, I don't actually see how he came to that conclusion. I mean, perhaps maybe he had some money on the line, like this person who put $1 million on Colorado and cashed that today. Maybe he just wanted to upset the balance of things and he wants the chaos and see Colorado lose so that he can feel good about himself, feel good about striking that normality back into college football. Like, oh, don't go out there and grab as much talent as possible and be open about it and tell players that you don't want them here if they don't want to buy in, and don't tell them what they need to hear. See, as a former player, I know that sometimes you can be in a situation where you need to be told you might not be good enough, because it wakes you up, gets you out of that place of being complacent. Like, hey, I was on a 1-9 team and whatever, man. I don't need to worry about getting any better because my spot is secured here. I'm getting everything that I want. I'm the starter. I don't have to worry about it. I'm a starter here, and I mean, we're bad, but whatever. But then you bring in a new force that wants more out of you. And that's why you see those players left out and you see new players came in who seen the same vision as the coach. And that's what you want. If you're a coach, you want everybody to feel the same way that you feel. And that's what we saw with Colorado, and that's what we've been seeing. And that's why they're so good at what they're doing, because everybody's on the same page. You don't see too many egos out there. Yeah, Shedeur's flashy. Cool. Yeah, Deion's flashy. Okay, cool. But that's not getting in the way of the other players on the team. You don't see them feeling like, oh man, because Travis Hunter is playing both sides of the ball, I'm not getting an opportunity. To be honest, if you look at the stats for the last two games, on the offensive end, Weaver, Dylan Edwards, Tayshawn Dawson, and others have been getting way more opportunities because most of the focus have been on Travis Hunter. I feel like they think it's a good thing. So, I mean, I'm just not seeing the hate.
Saying Colorado sucks.
Okay, sure. Let's say the O-line did struggle today. Shedeur got sacked a lot. It didn't bother his game. That's a testament to how he trains. That, okay, I got sacked a couple times. I'm not getting flustered. I stay the same. It's all good. But when do we give the credit where credit is due? I mean, some people are just natural born haters, so they just won't. But I was taught that when you do good things happen. And in this case, those people who are not doing good things, nothing good is going to happen from being negative. We shouldn't be putting down the game that we love in a way that we don't want to see it evolve because somebody who played the game at a high level, went to the Hall of Fame, did all these great things, came in and said, hey, this is my vision on how I see me running a team. We should want that. Same way that we see LeBron do it. We seen Tom Brady do it. We seen Peyton do it. We seen Michael Jordan do it. We seen Magic Johnson do it. We seen Wilt Chamberlain do it. All these different players in their time came in and changed the game. But now we're seeing it on the coaching side. We seen Nick Saban change the game. We seen Dabo Swinney change the game. We seen Urban Meyer change the game. Other coaches as well. Now we're seeing Deion change the game. Not seeing what's the difference between those coaches doing what they need to do to change the game for how they see fit.
Coincidence? I think not!
Not to me anyway. But again, Colorado's a good football team. I think they're very talented. I think they have a lot more to prove. And it's going to continue to shock people and silence the hate, because they're proving that they didn't just play around in the off season. They wasn't just out there being in the media like, oh yeah, we just talking about it. That's what people are used to. You're on social media, more than likely if you're looking at this. You see that people on there, they want to portray that they live in this life that they don't actually live. They're doing these things that they're not actually doing. What's wrong with when you finally see somebody actually do it? They tell you like, hey, I'm doing blah, 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 blah. And they actually do it. Sounds like a confidence issue to me. Deion's confidence, Shador's confidence, the team's confidence makes you, or analysts, uncomfortable because they don't have that yet. But they will find that, because it's coming.
It's personal. Were you guys able to really buy into this rivalry? What did it feel like out there?
It was extremely personal. We go out there, warm up. You got the head coach for the other team trying to stand in the middle of the buff. Like, it's okay if like a couple players do it. It's fine, you know. Like, just enjoy the scenery. But when you got the whole team trying to disrespect it, then I'm not going for that at all. So I went in there and disrupted it. So they knew off rip, like, nah, the Buffaloes mean a lot to me. And personally, that's what I was saying pregame, and that's when I knew it was just extreme disrespect. And that's why it was the coach said a lot of things about my pops, about the program, but now that he want to act nice, I don't respect that, because you hating on another man, you shouldn't do that. So it was just, all respect was gone for them and their program. Now I like playing against their DC, I like playing against them, but the respect level, it ain't there because you disrespected us first.
Wait, up and I shake the room.